All right, folks, if you're listening, I've decided I'm ready for part 3 of this Can He Do It reaction to Allie Beth Stuckey's interview of Dr. Greg Gifford on biblical counseling, Christian counseling, and secular counseling. The whole premise was your therapist is lying to you, and that's similar to the title of his book. I'm in my scrubs today. I just need a break from grading, so I thought I'd go ahead and give this a try before I get back after it. So I'm Dr. Andrew Wichterman. Okay, so we're going to leave off, or we're going to start back where we left off on this previous review. For those of you, videos were actually pretty well viewed, at least for my little channel. And so we're going to give this a go here. I'm going to bring him up. Before proceeding. Oh. Now I got it. Okay. And so we're about 20 minutes into it, I'd say. And so here we go. All right. And boy, someday I'll get good at this. Here we go.
Through the girls that are their age, some have already gone through puberty. They're like a foot taller. As weird as that may seem, you pick up your son in 5th grade and you're like, you guys are in the same class? Like, what's happening here?
By the way, I was 6'8", so that didn't happen to me.
So then you have these boys that are rambunctious, wily, not sitting still, and the immediate leap is, well, they must have a disorder. Let's have them talk to the school psychologist. Let's get them tested. Okay, I don't fault school psychologists, and I don't fault trying to find resources for boys that are rambunctious.
Confidence isn't something you have. It's something you do. As behavior...
But do they have a medically verifiable problem? That's the real question. Like, can we scan the brain? Can we do lab results?
Actually, if it's ADHD, like actual ADHD, which is overdiagnosed, he's not wrong about that. You can.
Results. And there will be some...
He keeps saying this. I remember this in the last 2 times already. Well, you don't have a brain scan. You don't have a brain scan. You don't have a brain scan. Is that the only thing that makes a disorder legitimate? But you can do it. That's the other thing about this.
I'm watching this that says, yes, there's brain chemistry that corresponds to those with ADHD. And then I would say, great. So let's diagnose based off of brain scans and not symptoms.
Where does he think the symptoms come from? What?
Some doctors do. Very few, but some do.
Let's do it. Okay, so is hyperactivity a disorder? Is being fidgety a disorder?
So it's interesting that he picks this. It's like kind of low-hanging fruit. I'd like to hear him have this conversation about something like, say, schizophrenia or dissociative identity or what's the other one? Bipolar disorder or borderline personality disorder. Have this conversation around that.
Or is that a gifting that you have? So think of 1 Peter 4.
Oh, I can't even. I'm already going to get snarky. Like, is it a gifting? Like, yeah, you could turn it into a gifting with a fair amount of work and learning to cope and manage the symptoms. But if you can't concentrate, you blurt out crazy things because you can't control your impulses, or at least you haven't learned to control your impulses. We have another issue here, folks. It's the need for learning is so high.
Romans 12, everyone in the body of Christ is given gifts, strengths, weaknesses that we have. There are some that are just not the...
I don't remember the Bible describing the weaknesses as gifts necessarily, except for needing to rely on the strength of God. So I guess there's that.
School type. That's not them. They don't thrive in that environment. They're very active. They are very like go, 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 go. And their mind never rests. looking back, I see a lot of CEOs or executive directors. And it's like, man, if they had ADHD whenever you were a kid, you would have been diagnosed with it because you're bing.
Well, it's true. A lot of people who are in leadership, even they say a lot of the presidents have had symptoms of ADD, but they've learned to manage it. So they take on that ability to hyperfocus and the other benefits that ADHD, when managed, can be. But he's still acting like there's nothing to be worked on.
Bing.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that, and some
Bing,
like very
bing.
successful people.
Think
Like
about
they
it.
can hardly even look you in the eye sometimes because they're thinking about a million things, but they're very good at what they do.
Yes, right. So is that something that has to be labeled and treated?
Right.
Or
Yes, because it has to be managed and worked on. Those people have learned to manage it. It's why they're so successful. It's why they're in those areas. It's because they can handle large, heavy tasks and they look at things differently than the general population. And they've learned to manage and cope with it. A lot of times they've been coached. A lot of times they've gone to therapy. And even those who didn't were so brilliant that they figured it out on their own on how to work with it.
do you find the area to set your giftedness free? It's like you're probably not going to be able.
That's kind of what we do in therapy. So I get the overwhelming feeling that he doesn't really know what therapy is. In the first two videos, I got that feeling when he would talk about different aspects of things. Like he didn't actually know what happens within therapy. He's probably never been in therapy. He's probably never studied therapy. And so he's talking about things that he doesn't understand. This is the theme of this whole video.
Librarian.
Yeah.
Will Ferris.
Right.
Okay. Like, is that a sin? No.
Yeah.
Would you be miserable if we made?
We're not saying that ADHD is a sin. We're saying it might be a result of sin, meaning it's part of our brokenness and fallenness. But like anything else, it can be redeemed, regenerated, so that it becomes a strength. This is the idea of Christian counseling.
You go to a cubicle and type in Excel all day.
Why is he acting like he's the first one to say this?
Yeah, you would be absolutely miserable.
Yeah.
So go be a park ranger. Go be an entrepreneur. Go work with your hands. Go build your own business or nonprofit.
People do this all the time. We suggest this within therapy sometimes.
So how do you work with someone with ADHD? I think for a lot of the diagnoses, give them time to mature. Give them a time to grow up. Encourage them.
Okay, there's an aspect of truth to this, but we do this in therapy. I just called somebody today who wanted testing for a 3-year-old because the therapist recommended it. It's just like, no, he's too young. You need to learn to help him manage these things as a 3-year-old, the best a 3-year-old can. And then when they're older, we can talk about it.
To do things that are hard and to persevere. And you can't always do the things that you love and eschew the things you hate.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have to take meds?
Right.
It's a Christian liberty.
No, we don't. Unless he's talking about psychiatrists or medical doctors, which he seems to like the medical doctors. Like, we don't prescribe medications. Psychologists, counselors, social workers, we can't prescribe medications. Oftentimes, the counselors are the ones that say, hey, you don't really need medication. We can learn to cope with this. I had this with a conversation with a family yesterday of a 13-year-old. You don't necessarily need medication. You can learn to cope with this. There's all kinds of skills and things you can learn. I referred them to ADHD coaching places, referred them to places that do brain training. All of these things are separate from medication.
You know, and I'm not going to say you absolutely cannot.
Yeah.
But I am going to say you want your sons and some daughters, you want them to learn the life skills that go into denying.
I'm going to be like that guy that runs around throwing his headphones on the floor. It's exactly what we do. He's criticizing, saying that we don't do the thing that we do. And now I just turned my thing sideways. He's saying we don't do the thing that we do. He's saying we're lying to people when in fact we're doing the thing that he says we should be doing. And we actually know how to do it. Oh, I muted it.
that's going to help them focus.
Yeah.
But can you use it? Totally. You can use it in a God-honoring way. When you've obtained those meds legally, you could do it.
Yeah.
I missed something because he just said something. Hold on.
You want them to learn the life skills that go into denying yourself and not depending on a medication that's going to help them focus.
Yeah.
But can you use it? Totally. You can use it in a God-honoring way. When you've obtained those meds legally,
Okay. Is he saying that the medication they've gotten before is illegal, or am I just overreacting to this now? Oh my goodness. This is what we do. We do try to help them obtain meds when it's necessary, completely necessary, in a God-honoring way. and then we try to help them learn the skills to get off of it. Are you kidding me? And we also do it.
could do it.
Yeah.
But help them mature first and help them grow, and then steer them towards somewhere where they can really thrive with their giftedness instead of the librarian, the accountant, the very sedentary positions that will just.
We already do that. We already do that. We already do that. It's like I think he can hear me, but he's not listening. But how many times can you shout the same thing into dead space?
Probably make them crazy. Seriously.
Okay, we'll get through this. And of course,
It's not right that good web designers are struggling while local business owners are losing customers to bad websites.
Next sponsor is Art. That's
I'm gonna
just
skip
live
through
to do
this,
it again.
folks.
If you
I'm
do it
sorry, I
now,
don't pay
I think
for the
just like
YouTube
with
thing.
everything that we do, we have to assess our motives behind it. When it is an area of Christian liberty. In this case, obviously, the Bible doesn't say you shall not do a brain scan and treat with medication, something that is actual diagnosis.
Okay, when you do a brain scan, you don't have to treat with medication here, folks. This is just so much ignorant. I just can't. I can't.
ADHD. But I think all of us need to ask. And as a parent, I can understand this. If you have a child that is having a really hard time in school, your other kids aren't, their friends aren't. You're watching them up on stage. Everyone else in the Christmas recital is doing their job and doing the motions and singing. Your child is running around on stage. Like, I can understand as a parent, oh, that's difficult. And you might feel like, oh, I'm helping them by giving them this medication. But I think we all need to ask some questions. Is it really for them, or is it for you?
Totally.
Is it because they are actually having a hard time, or do you just feel awkward and uncomfortable? And is it also just making your job as
Okay, we talk about this when school teachers get overwhelmed and they got 20 kids in a classroom and they want to put kids on medication, and it's simply because they're trying to survive.
parent harder? Is it because maybe you don't want to homeschool?
But the school did she just say parent harder?
A hard time, or do you just feel awkward and uncomfortable? And is it also just making your job as a parent harder?
Oh, is it making your job? Yes, always. But see the assumption here. Let's see what she makes.
Is it because maybe you don't want to homeschool? Is it because it takes longer to discipline and talk to your child?
That's because you're lazy. That's what it is. I'm going to sit here and say it's just because you're lazy. Like, the school teachers get overwhelmed. Even them, I say, you're not lazy. You're not lazy. You are just struggling with this. You are struggling with this. Like, this is really hard. So we need to find a better solution than just medicating all these kids. When I work with them, that's what I do. I just can't. It's just one of
longer to get out the door. And those might all be real difficulties, but they also may be opportunities for sanctification, not necessarily.
This is why I get snarky. It's two people having a conversation that I don't know if they've ever been in counseling or not, like with a licensed therapist. My guess would be they haven't. But they're criticizing something they have no experience in and no knowledge. I'm just going to say it again, because it's like, how many times can you defend against what's ignorant?
Necessarily psychiatric drugs.
Right.
And
on
so
the parents' part. Like it's
that's
like
what I
you're growing as a parent. And-
exactly. And I think that's the most difficult
Right.
part is the patience that's required of us.
This feels really judgmental of parents with kids with special needs or with disabilities in general or with diagnoses like ADHD who legitimately don't know what to do, have no training in what to do, don't know how to respond, don't want to be overly judgmental or harsh with their kids, but are just looking for a thing that's legitimately going to help them. This drives me crazy because I don't know what these people's situation is. I don't know what it's like for their own kids.
As parents. And yes, it might make it easier for your child to sit through 7 hours of school, but to your point, is that the goal? Like, is that really the goal? Is
Right.
that something that's necessary for them, or is it something that's necessary?
No, and we talk about this in therapy all the time. It's like, what are your options? I remember years and years and years ago, I had a kid who had like some autistic-y, Asperger-y type symptoms. He was kind of rigid. He had trouble with overstimulation, all these kinds of things. I told the parents, I think you need to pull him in homeschool. Or I think you need to pull him and put him in a smaller school. And they pulled him, they homeschooled him, they got him outside tutoring, they had the resources to do it. See, that's the other thing is some people don't have the resources to pull their kids out of public schools. It's the only way to get their kid educated. Not everybody, has their own podcast blog thing with 500,000 viewers or however many are on here. I can't even remember. And work for a university that pays you pretty well. Not everybody has the resources for one spouse to stay home and to work with those kids doing homeschooling. They say, well, you don't really want to. You don't want to have to do the hard work of parenting. No, sometimes it's not accessible. This is why people don't like Christians. It's this kind of stuff. People don't like Christians. Like we talk about things that we don't understand. We talk about things that we don't have any knowledge of. We have talk about things that we don't have any experience in, and we make moral judgments. Firm center, soft edges. It's firm center, soft edges. I see no soft edges in this.
Necessary for you.
Yeah, and I don't fault schools because schools actually have to get a diagnosis to get them private tutors and more resources or an educational assistant. So the school's not trying to, we could paint public schools as being evil, and some are.
I should say that kid, I told the parents to pull it. They did it. He did amazing. Like he graduated college. He is working a good job. Like he's successful in life.
But there's also a legal requirement to get tested and diagnosed with ADHD to get you a.
It's not just with ADHD. There's a number of diagnoses. It's not unilateral or it's not you either have ADHD and get services or you don't. There's a number of things that kids can struggle with and the school can offer services for, because if you're treating them for something that's not ADHD if you're treating them for ADHD and they have something that is not ADHD, you can make it way worse. Oh, they act like it's so simple and easy.
Smaller room and less students in the class and an educational assistant or specialist there. So then the school's saying, well, we got to get you tested to get you out of 30-person size classes and get you the attention and resources that you need.
Right.
So they need that diagnosis to unlock all these resources. So I don't envy that position, but as a parent, you should still be discerning and say, but I don't know if that is the real issue. I don't know if that's really going to help there.
Mm-hmm. And that could be hard to do. It's hard to assess how you're doing as a parent and all of the things that
okay, there's some sympathy, at least to some degree.
You might need to change in order to better accommodate the personality and the strengths of your kids. I love what you said about thinking about those differences as strengths and not something that needs to be.
By the way, that's what we do in therapy. It's licensed counselors. We operate from what's called a wellness model. It's what we do.
Stifled or medicated necessarily. I don't think that a lot of us probably think that way, even about our own selves. But I had probably every teacher, my parents would tell my parents that I had ADD because I couldn't stop talking in class. But now I talk, for a living. And so, yeah, I'm really glad that I
That's just overly social. That's not ADD. My goodness.
Look back and I'm really glad that my parents said no to that.
Okay.
Because what if I didn't do what I do now?
Or what if you got the diagnosis and you didn't go for medication? You just went on to coping skills. Or what if you didn't even go for the diagnosis and you had the symptoms, but you went to places that specialize in treating those kind of symptoms to work at it?
Right. So think of your giftings, right? The
Yeah.
Lord's obviously blessing your work, and you have this huge impact through your words, through a mind that is sharp. What if at your earliest of years, you self-conceptualized as having a disorder,
Mm-hmm.
ADHD? So what if your parents said, okay, like if you want to get her tested, let's get her tested. And then you got a diagnosis. And then now you start to hear what you can't do because you have ADHD.
Or you do like what I did with the person yesterday who has the diagnosis, and I say, hey, this doesn't have to define the rest of your life. It's not a terminal illness. You don't even have to tell people that you have this diagnosis. What you need to do is to work on coping with the skill, or work on coping skills and brain training and managing your emotions in these moments that are more frustrating so that you can do, or so that you can be successful in life at a really high level, because once you learn to manage this, it becomes assets and skills. I'm gonna go a little longer. I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an extremely detrimental side effect of the mental illness movement over diagnosing, is kids self-conceptualize.
It is true. I mean, that's true. Kids diagnose themselves, and then our friends add to the diagnosis, and then it's cool to have a diagnosis, and then everybody wants to have one so they can say, I have my therapist. And it's like anything else. It's been overdiagnosed. There's problems in the field, but this is not what Christian counselors do.
As their diagnosis from so you would have learned from puberty that you can't do things. So your parents gave you that sweet gift of saying, nope, we're going to protect her and we're going to help her thrive in what she's good at. And then here you are.
Yeah. And I never did get an A in math, and that's okay.
Me neither.
Yeah.
You know, when people come to me wanting diagnosis with ADHD, they're not saying my kid has to be perfect. I haven't found one yet. They're not saying my kid has so many issues, I just want to get them on medication. These are genuine parents saying, I just want my kid to have the best chance at being successful they can. It's starting to damage their relationships with their siblings, with their teachers, with their school, with their friends. And I just really want to give them the best shot at it I can. I haven't had one ask for perfection yet. They're just looking at me like, we need some help. We don't know what to do. It's a stereotype of people with struggles.
Because I don't use it. Okay, so depression, anxiety. So we talked through ADHD.
Yeah.
For those who are like, look, Dr. Gifford, I hear you, but they're thinking, I'm depressed. I can't get out of bed.
Yep.
I can't do it. You're telling me this is a problem of the mind. I don't know how to pray more and read the Bible more than I already am.
Good.
It's a good question. Let's see what he says.
Totally.
Good hair days start with a routine. An easy routine starts with a daily chew. Through hymns.
Maybe I should upgrade.
No one should hear this, watch this, listen to this, and think I'm saying depression doesn't exist.
It's what you basically said the first 20 minutes. Is what John MacArthur said. We showed the video in the first reaction to this.
Because I'm not saying that. And no one should hear this, watch.
Now, I know you're not John MacArthur, but you basically said it in the first 10 minutes.
This, listen to this and think I'm saying anxiety doesn't exist, because I'm not saying that. I've never said that. In the book, I don't say that. On my podcast, I don't say that. I've never said those things. What I'm saying is, let's start to uncover what's going on in depression. If there are physiological issues, vitamin deficiencies.
It's the exact, it's just because it's like, okay, let's find out what's going on underneath. That's what we do. That's what Christian therapists do. But you say we're lying.
Thyroid issues. There's something going on with my brain. Maybe there's actually a cyst or something growing on the organ.
Oh, I see. Everybody who has depression and anxiety either has a hormone imbalance or they have brain cancer.
And it's affecting me in some way. It's affecting mood regulation in that way.
You see what this is? We're back to Gnosticism again. It's everything physical is bad, everything spiritual is good, and there is no emotional, essentially. This is what we're back to this is what we're back to.
You would say affecting your mind in a way that encourages you to sin, but doesn't cause you to sin.
Yep. Because we know Romans 6, we're set free, and we have God's Spirit indwelling us, 1 Corinthians 6:19.
Also the old man and the new man, like in the same passage.
So I can never once say my body made me sin.
Yeah, that's good.
It does.
But did your body... So this is the thing again. It's like, if you have a broken leg, is it... Did your body cause that broken leg?
Let's get murky in terms of was that a true sin or was it not a true sin? But we know that line is clear.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I don't have any known physiological problems, doctors can't find anything, there's nothing going on in the organ of my brain, thyroid looks great, all my blood work comes back and it looks nice, then maybe, just maybe, I should be open to what's happening in my mind.
I feel like I need to go take a walk. He's describing what we do, yet he's criticizing it at the same time.
What am I thinking about? What am I putting my hope in? Why am I disappointed and so discouraged? Did something change in my life recently that was not physiological, but was circumstantial? And that's what triggered this depression. Then you're not talking about a biological problem at all. You're actually talking about a spiritual problem.
Actually, you're talking about a mental health problem and maybe a spiritual problem at the same time, because the brain affects the way you feel. And it's not always just, I have a hormone imbalance. It's like there are life circumstances happening that are causing problems in my brain.
Okay, so here, it's like, okay, well, Gifford, kick people while they're down, man. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying you can...
It's only what's been happening this whole 40 minutes I've been watching.
Be hopeless, and that's not a body problem. And what is the solution to that?
I think the thing that drives me so crazy about this, and maybe this is the clarity point for me, is he's saying, listen, go back one second.
People while they're down, man. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying you can be hopeless, and that's not a body problem. And what is the solution to that?
Why can't the body impact that? He still's not given a good reason why the body can't impact it. That is what I'm saying. They act like they're totally separate. Like there's no overlap. Like there's no understanding of one over the other.
We want to take you back to the nature and the character of God and his promises.
What if we did that and we still acknowledged that emotions and physicality affect the mind? What if we did both of those things? Okay, I think that's where I'm going to leave it today. All right, I saw a few pop in. We're still small. It's okay. Myself back up there. Come on now. I'm still learning. So what I'm going to do, folks, is I'll do one more to finish this. And that'll be the end of this reaction series. People have liked the first several, so that's why I thought I'd go back and do it again. I've developed the ability not to be snarky. I spent some time in prayer. By the way, you notice he says, what if we get at the underlying cause and what's going on with the mind? And you don't have to just pray and read your Bible more. But he has not offered any real solutions yet. Maybe he does that in the last 15 minutes of this video or 20 minutes of this video, whatever it is. Maybe he does, but he has not offered any actual solutions yet. This is the Christian church does this all the time. We throw stones, we point fingers, we kick people out. We rarely offer real solutions for people in the world now. We're so focused on the eternal, which isn't a bad thing, that we forget that we're living in the present as well. And why can't we look at both things? Is my thought on the end of it. All right. I'm Dr. Andrew Wichterman.